Okay.
Well, welcome everybody. My name is Cheyenne with Coos County Entrepreneurs, and I'm here with Veronica and Brian Folley.
Hello.
With WinterRiver Books in Bandon, Oregon. And they have graciously allowed me to bug them today and ask them some questions. So we will get started. First, you guys want to talk about maybe your background or what led you to owning this bookstore and running this bookstore?
Okay. So I got hired here in 2013, and it's always been a dream to work at a bookstore. I've always been a vicarious reader, and just like I enjoyed that kind of vibe and setting. And so when I applied here, it took a little bit to get hired, and so I was, feeling a little discouraged. But as soon as I did, I just feel it was awesome to work in a bookstore setting, but also getting retail experience, because I, haven't really worked with customer service a lot, and that is a big portion of the store. And so once I got hired, I was just a front counter person. We have a really great local customer, base that come in, so you could see the same faces and everything, and that was just made it so fun about working here. So you got to see a lot of the same people day in and day out, and it just made it so positive, because sometimes working in a retail setting, it's really hard to it gets frustrating and really stressed out. But this spot in general, it just honestly, it was great. And and so in 2018, Brian and I had the opportunity to purchase the store from the owners who had owned it since the 90s.
Wow.
And it honestly, I'm still pinching myself. It doesn't seem like my life, just because Brian and I, we come from similar backgrounds in a sense. And we were raised by single parents. And so we were just normal, ordinary people. It's not, we didn't really come from anything fancy, and it just, I don't know, we just got blessed with the opportunity. And yeah, it's I don't know, I'm from Coos Bay. I'm a Coos Bay native, so yes. And to be honest, of course, as a kid, you make mistakes and things like that, and looking back, I just can't even imagine the change that I've made in myself, and it's crazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
And what do you want to say? Where your background?
I don't really have one for you. I'm just a Californian.
Okay, fine. All right.
Different story. I don't know. Same thing. Just raised by a single parent, and
we just
wanted her to have what she always wanted, and it worked out.
Well, and and our parents, we watched them work multiple jobs, and just to support. Because I have an older sibling just like Brian, and so two single parents raising two teenager kids, and it's that's like a tough thing for a lot of families. And so I watched my mom work 3 jobs, and going to school too. She was in the nursing program, but she kind of changed her field, but yeah, so she was doing all that. So sadly, my brother we just kind of were on our own, and most of the time, but I watched that. I watched her motivate herself enough to want a better life for herself, but also try to support us at the same time. And I know when you're young, it's kind of hard to see that, and it's hard to understand why your parents working so much, and now realizing why it's a big thing. And so I just think that's what really motivated us once we had the opportunity. They, my bosses had pulled me aside, and they said, "Were you serious? Because about what you said." So when they initially told all of us employees, and they had veteran employees that had been here working under them for 15 to 20 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so this is like a lifetime, kind of thing. And so when they were telling us that they wanted, to retire, finally, they just said, "I don't know how long it's going to take to sell the store. It could take, a few weeks, a few months, a couple years," because they also had other buildings that they were selling too.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh no, I had been here for 5 years at that point. And I was like, oh no. And so I expressed to them, I said, it's gonna be sad. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, to be honest, you don't know how many times I can count a day that when people come in here, I'd be so sad if this store was gone. I'd be so sad, if this changed, just because people appreciate what we have in such a small town. A lot of people, when they come to Bandon, it's a tourist, very pretty, local, little coastal town. Yeah. And so it's kind of nice to see stores also offering not only the tourist souvenir stuff, but also just a big selection of everyday items that people can purchase throughout the year. Right. And so when I expressed, that to them, I guess they sat on it and they just kind of stewed and, thought about it. And one day they just pulled me aside and they said, were you serious about what you said? And I'm like, yeah, just honestly, I was like, you both don't understand how much the store actually means to a lot of people. And so I guess they thought of us, and we reminded them of them when they were young, when they were our age, because of our work ethic, because of how we were raised. Yeah,
I was working 20-hour days. She was working anywhere from 16 to 20-hour days every day a week.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
Once we found out that this was a possibility, we just started working nonstop. We already worked 7 days a week, but it turned into overdrive and not stopping.
Yeah.
Because it was, if we have the chance, you got to take it. You can't just sit down and let it not happen.
Right.
It's not worth giving up.
No. It's like a lifetime opportunity.
Especially not having money and paycheck to paycheck, and then you get that offer and it's like, shit, I can change my life.
Yeah.
And it's worth it.
Yes, definitely. Well, that is amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. And so how long, so you guys purchased it in 2018, right? Mm-hmm. And so from when you guys first started to now, how have priorities changed, or has anything changed with you guys?
She lives and breathes the store every minute of every day, and I'm always just trying to get her to relax.
Oh.
She's all for it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
she's got more than 100% into it, I'll tell you that much.
Well, it's a lifestyle. Once I didn't realize how much goes into owning a store, and I just being an employee and and then now being in the back in the office looking at all of the companies we order from, and I just didn't imagine. I was like, this many,
You
and
realize how much is really done to keep one of these places alive. It's shocking.
It certainly is, but I mean, honestly, if you have the motivation and just I just keep pushing forward, and I don't even know how. It's kind of funny. It's so funny because our employees, they'll be asking me a question about something in the store, and I'll immediately go to it. And they're like, "How did you do that?" I have no idea. My brain, that's all I think of is work. Yeah. And it's not in a bad sense, honestly. It's really not. It's kind of funny. It's just,
you can ask her what she did yesterday. She won't know. You can ask her what book she put on the shelf 2 months ago. She knows exactly.
Oh gosh,
yeah. It's like that.
It's one of those.
Yeah, and it's kind of strange, and yeah, they're like, you must be, a superhuman, because I wouldn't remember half the stuff, and I, especially with not only doing ordering and back of office stuff, but also being up front still and working with customers and just, stocking the shelves and things. I'm just like, well, I have, I've been here. It's now going to be
it's imprinted in your brain.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I've been working here since 2013, so I mean, it was just some of the stuff, it's probably been here since then, so that's probably why I can immediately go to it. But other than that, I honestly don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If you ask me literally what we did a month ago or a week ago, or he's right.
And it's so fascinating to hear this because, I'm getting a business degree, right? Mm-hmm. So I've learned the book side of this, but you guys just basically jump full force. Yeah, and are doing amazing.
Mm-hmm. No experience at all, and
it helps. It's a well-established business, but it definitely was rough learning things. Taxes is a nightmare. Everything you add it all together, and it's a lot at once. But once she got it down, it was smooth sailing from there.
Yeah,
that is.
She's the soul of this place. I'm just the backup.
Yeah,
I do my best, but
you're the muscle.
Pretty much. Yeah, I work with my hands. I don't.
Yeah.
I can't do sitting around, so I'm a little different. But she has done a lot to.
Well, and honestly,
to learn, and it's great.
I didn't know this, but before I knew that, I may have to change my job, they were training me ordering and doing stuff. But I just thought, I'm doing so good at my job that I get to do stuff that nobody else gets to do. Because, they had a system, you just learn front of house stuff and, just checking people out, customer service. Then you move on to stocking and shelving, because it's really important, especially when you're going to look for something for a customer and it's supposed to be there, but it's not. No. So that's, so they had a system of how they wanted things to be ran. And me, I'm just such a go-getter that I always was wanting to learn something new. And so I was kind of biting my tongue, not biting my tongue, but like eating my foot, because I just kept on wanting to do stuff. They're like, no, you need to calm down. Like there's, you know, we have a system and you just got, you'll learn, I promise. But yeah, as like, I would say about a few months before they let us know that, they were letting me order jewelry, order cards, and yeah, they were prepping me, but I didn't know why. I just thought, oh cool, like I get to do cool stuff. And then
because months before that, I was even helping him on his properties, completely clearing them out and stuff, and tells me on one day going home, he's like, we have something big planned for you. I'm like, what do you mean? Because at the time we were having issues finding houses, and we were like, well, I know you own properties. Is that what you're talking about? You're gonna have a house that we can rent from you? And then all of a sudden this happened. I'm like, whoa, that was not what I was expecting. I thought they were just gonna rent us a house kind of thing, and then this whole thing came about. And
oh my god!
So it was really crazy, because we were talking for months. What is this big plan that they're talking about? We're just working. We don't know. We're kind of confused, and all of a sudden it hit us, and we're like, whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
They really wanted us to have a better life. They wanted
great people.
They are. My bosses are literally the best. Like the things they have done for us, and even like his other boss, you know, I mean,
I still work at the restaurant. I manage the restaurant on top of this as well. Yeah.
Like I said, we're go getters. All we do is work.
She runs this during summer, and I live and breathe and sweat in a restaurant.
Oh no! Yeah, that is so inspiring. Oh my gosh. So, I'm so sorry. What challenges have you guys had to overcome going through this process? And I know you guys kind of got right in almost just a little bit before COVID. So how has that kind of impacted you guys, or what hurdles?
I would just say underestimating everything.
Yeah.
Not expecting what it really was. Really just, my biggest nightmare was taxes.
Yeah.
Just not being prepared
I didn't
for
understand
what really,
them.
Entails and what it takes to
keep it running, alive. It's scary sometimes, and you get your moments where you think you're done, but it's not done. It'll keep pushing. I mean, there's times where your bank account's going to tank, and then all of a sudden it's right back up to the top, and it's like, whoa, shit. And it changes real quick sometimes. It can give you nightmares. I've stressed about it for weeks on end, and she's finally at that point, she's like, just stop. I'm like, I can't. This is our livelihood. And she's like, no, just stop, because I'm the money guy. I do the accounting, and so when I see all those numbers, I don't know, my anxiety gets the best of me, and she has to calm me down.
Oh, and I bet, well, with a building like this, I'm sure your expenses are, pretty high.
They're up there.
Yeah.
They're pretty,
Yeah.
I could afford a few houses off the rent.
Oh, stop. No.
Business is expensive, I'll tell you that, but it's not worth giving up on.
No.
Yeah.
Certainly we faced a lot of challenges, just like a lot of businesses. I'm sure we just, because we were going in kind of blind in a sense. We did have some direction from the previous owners. They didn't totally leave us, in the wind, but we just didn't know what to expect, because we've never
seen this side.
I
have a little bit, because I've managed the base shop for 12 years, and she kind of like took me under her wing and taught me everything I know about business. But I didn't know it in a retail sense. I knew it in a restaurant sense. I knew overhead. I knew all that, and what's going to cost, what's going to hurt, and then you come here and you realize you ordered something for way too much of it, and it's not selling at all, and you're like, well, order less next time, try it first, instead of overhauling on something, because you will get stuck with it, and you will get stuck with it for a long time sometimes.
Oh gosh.
Well, and I think what the best thing is, though, because this business has been well established, I mean, since the 90s, it helped us.
Gave us
when we bought it in 2018. It really just, because we already had our amazing customers, we had tourist season, and we just, because they know the store and because it's been here for so long, I think that was really beneficial, and we had a leg up on a lot of other smaller businesses that had been just starting to.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what really has helped us through everything, to be honest, is just because the support that has been following this store for as long as it's been open, and continued, because we kind of actually quietly bought it. We didn't tell anybody.
We owned the place.
We told, of course, like our chamber, because we had to change membership and stuff like that. But nobody really knew that it was getting sold. Because the main selling point that my bosses wanted to make sure was that we weren't going to change a thing. And because of me expressing to them how much it means to a lot of people, and I said, said, Debbie, I mean, that's not what we plan to do. We honestly, eventually it's going to change into our style in a sense. You really always buy, I mean, in seasons and trends, you know, but you're always buying for another person. You're not really buying actually for yourself. And so that has been a big thing because of my you know, our age. It's a big advantage because our customers, I guess, you know, like we have, sorry, I'm pulling Sally. Our customers, they age range from, you know, 20s to all the way up to like 70s, and so it's just a big broad age group that we buy for, and so sometimes it's really hard, but he's right, challenges, it's mostly with our back of, you know, our office stuff. It really,
the people make this part easy. The back of the office, nobody is around for that, and it's stressful.
It can be. I mean, honestly,
it can also be really rewarding at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to keep pushing. You can't stop.
Exactly.
There's no reason to.
Exactly. I know that I honestly was. I was so stressed that I was projecting my stress onto not only Brian, but my old bosses, because, you know, I was so stressed out because I'm like, are we going to be able to, you know, do this, continue this? You know, and I wasn't sure what to do. I was crying, I was mad, I was frustrated because it's hard. It's really hard to own any kind of business. But then I went into, after COVID really, you know, I mean, we got blessed with that, but after COVID happened, I just told myself, look, you either can go into work every single day stressed and just burn yourself out, because that's just what's gonna inevitably happen. Yeah. I know. So anyway, so I just said, you know what? It is what it is, and that's the mindset that I have been going into since summer of 2021. Is whatever happens is going to happen, and I need to let go of the control that I want to have, and just let whatever happen. And so it has. And honestly, even though I've been working every single day, I haven't been as burnt out or stressed, because I just am going with the flow, and I'm just letting, you know, it all kind of happen.
When you knew you want to control everything around you and you can't, and it takes a little bit to learn that. You want to control what's going on here and how it's going to go down, and you can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You got to just let it be.
Yeah, especially when you're, you know, depending kind of on other people to come in, you know, and make those choices for you, you know, concerning like buying things, like items. I haven't really worked in retail. I mean, I've been in sales. I've had that, waitress serving experience, but I, you know, never worked in an area where you have to depend on, you know, your clientele to come in, actually be excited about your products and want to purchase them.
Exactly, yeah.
Like that is, I
that's
couldn't
scary
even imagine.
Well, it really is, and my bosses, they really picked out a really great selection of stuff, because they didn't want to make it too touristy, and they wanted their store to reflect them, and they were two completely kind of different people in a sense. Like my boss Grover, he was a surfer.
Huge surfer.
He's a huge surfer.
He still surfs at the age
he's like
right
in his
now.
he's like in his mid 60s, and he's still surfing. And
I love that.
and then his wife Debbie, she was just, I mean, the sweetest. I mean, you know, everything but their sense of style, their reading styles, their buying styles, completely different from each other, but the way that it meshes into each other and comes together in the store, it really just makes it kind of work. You know, and they just, they picked out a lot of great lines that continue to thrive. And sure, we will, you know, pick out some new stuff. I'm still kind of hesitant, you know, because I trust my gut enough, but not enough to where I'm like, is this going to work? You know, because that's what I'm afraid of, is failing.
Second guessing yourself. Yeah.
Which is bad. You should never do that at all. You know.
And I mean, honestly, you have a great track record to where, I mean, you should have the evidence. You don't have to second guess yourself.
I know.
You know, you're doing amazing, and you've done amazing. Yeah. So, but I completely understand that. I do the same thing with, you know, investing in certain things. Yeah. In my business for real estate, it's nerve wracking.
It really certainly is.
Yeah, it's nerve wracking. Yeah. But you guys are doing great. So.
Thank you.
So, what advice would you give someone maybe starting out?
Honestly, just to not give up. It does take a lot to not only open, but continue, you know, a business. I just think that if someone has the right motivation, but also really wants to to better themselves, to better their situation. It's just all really, honestly, all about happiness and passion. And I don't think it takes a lot, especially if you're passionate about something. You really, if you put your mind to it, you certainly will make it happen. Yeah. Honestly. And the best advice is just to go in and, expect everything, the worst, the best, because in a sense, we went in kind of blind. We didn't know what to expect. But when it did hit us, we were, it really scared us and it was stressful. But then once you kind of let go of the reins and just, if it'll just all work out, I think, to be honest, is my advice.
Yeah, because being a cook for 12 years, this is a whole different ballgame over here. It's not the same. I can run my own kitchen, but running a business is not the same. But you give up and you're just giving up your dreams, and there's no reason to give up dreams because people are going to tell you can't do things, but you can. Yeah, it doesn't matter what people say, it's what you want, and it's not what anybody cares. Yeah. You just have to do you and keep pushing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Hard work pays off.
It certainly does.
Definitely does.
Yeah, it certainly does.
What strategies do you guys use to market your business? Like any advertising tactics?
We have websites, we have our Facebook.
Yeah, we don't
do ads very often anymore, only because phone books they're in the Stone Age now. Nobody really looks at them unless you really can't find it on your phone, and even then you still find it. So that we've kind of given up on, but we do like the sponsorships to where they put our flyers out in their baseball fields and stuff like that, and that's normally where we go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've just been starting to put stuff onto our website. Mostly on our website right now is just all of our books. It's run by the American Booksellers Association. So we only have just all of our book stock. And so when COVID happened, because a lot of people were doing curbside pickup, and when they wanted to order puzzles online, but they couldn't because that's not on our website. So I've been slowly actually trying to incorporate all of our gift items onto the website. It's a big process too. So it's slow going, but certainly we just, because of how well established the business has been, we haven't really had to do much marketing. I know that recently I partnered up with this podcast called Always Authors, so what I do is if I refer any customers or anybody, they'll sign up with a link, and we it's and then we'll get advertised on the podcast, which is kind of cool. It's a new thing. It's kind of scary to do that kind of stuff because I'm not, to be honest, I'm not on like Facebook or anything like that much anymore. I'm not, so it's really hard to like advertise your business on social media when that's like something that I'm just not doing anymore. Like our website, our Facebook page is a little sad. So I've been trying to do new stuff, because that is the thing. Everybody is on the internet and they are all on social media. So that is it's kind of hard.
Timothy's on. He promotes us a lot too.
Yeah, we do have
Star Wars writer.
We have an Oregon author. He's a Star Wars author. He created one of the characters in Star Wars, and we have a great collaboration going on with him. When he goes to conventions or just when people message him, he actually recommends our store, which is amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. It just
during COVID he saved us a lot. It was very slow, and he was sending thousands of people our way for autograph books, and he would come in, take care of us, travel to us, and sign these books whenever we needed, and kept us. He's a very customer-oriented guy. He likes to keep his people happy. Yeah. And he not only did that through us, and it helped us a lot during COVID. We had more shipping in 1 year than I've ever seen in my life. I have packed my car 5 times over to the roof because of this guy. And he's done a lot for that as well, and he's one of our biggest advertisements because he's a New York Times best-selling author, and a lot of people say he's the reason why Star Wars is still alive. Oh wow! So he has done a lot. Well, he's like one of the original writers, and he's
he created one of the original characters.
And he's the great guy too.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, that is a huge asset. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it helped a lot. I didn't really know much about it until we bought it, and then she goes, "No, he writes Star Wars." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's." I'm not a huge Star Wars person, but that's an awesome thing just to know that he's done that, and the
he's
fact
an
that
Oregon
he goes
author
out
too,
of his
which
way
is
to
really
help
neat.
us on top of it.
A local Oregon author. And promoting.
And he's using his publicity to help a small business that he doesn't even have to. If he didn't want to.
Exactly,
Doesn't make a difference in his life.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Shoot, I'm gonna have to go home and Google him. Because I mean, I don't keep up with Star Wars either.
Well, see, I don't, but I
now I
know.
just mind it. Knowing this.
It's a really, really great opportunity that we've been rewarded. It's
getting connected with all his fans and how passionate they are about his writings.
It's amazing just to see everybody that
we get people calling us, hey, his book's coming out in 4 months. You gonna have it? And it's like, man, I don't even know the release date.
well, and shipping to different countries too.
Yeah, we ship all
so
over the world
amazing.
Because of this guy.
Oh,
the UK, we've shipped to the Philippines, we've shipped all
Sweden, Australia, Singapore. It's amazing.
So people buy your books,
and we ship them across the world.
Yeah.
Oh my
because
gosh.
of him, and some of them are repeat customers for stuff that aren't even involving him.
Yeah.
But because he sent them our way, they keep coming back, and it's great.
And it's all about the customer service. That's a big part of it is because a lot of people they had emailed and said we're return customers because of how nice our customer service is, and so that just really is a big
good
thing.
Packaging too is always a good thing. We learned that one real quick. Because a lot of these people are collectors, so you have to think about that. And to us, it's just everyday book use, and we're like throwing them in boxes. Mm-hmm. So we really, over the years, we have changed our wrapping and made it more secure, and they notice that, and they're like, "Wow, you guys have really changed this." And we're like, "Well, it's because of you guys. We got to help you guys because." We didn't understand that process. Collectors collecting a book and wanting the special editions and being no creases and it was rough for me to understand because I'm a guy and I'm rough with kids. And she's like, "No, calm down. I'll package this. You throw the label on it. That's all you do. Throw the label." I'm like, all right, I can do that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But it's a shock how far your company can reach, even if it's small. It's. I mean, honestly, just shipping out of this country is insane to me.
That's honestly mind-blowing to me because I would never expect, a Bandon, Oregon bookstore. Well, you're not just a bookstore, though. You have other items than books. But, being able to ship and have a customer base, that's not in Oregon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, people pay more in shipping than they do for the book.
Yeah, they do.
Just to get them. And it's shocking, and they keep coming back. It's like, all right, I'll take that.
Right. Well, and that says a lot about you guys as a business and the business name and how you built those relationships. That is huge.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We just feel so grateful to have that. Honestly.
Yeah. So how do you guys define success?
Honestly,
it's a hard one to
define. It really is. I would say being happy. Yeah. If I really want to get down to it, if you're not happy or passionate, you're not going to be successful in life. If you truly, you will go through a lot of hardship, but I think that's part of success too, as just being at the very bottom and pulling yourself back up when you think that you just want to kind of give up. And I truly think that if you're happy, you're gonna succeed far in life. To be honest, I truly think that's like the main down there. I mean, motivation, and also drive and having a positive mindset eventually, because if I'm a pessimist, and a realist. I kind of think of worst case scenario before I think of the best, and I also think of like the real side of things and not just like the dreamy what if sides, I just think, but also I had it that you have to change your mindset into being more positive, and once you do that, you kind of you kind of start to see yourself smiling more and happier about what you're doing, and I just really truly think that's what it comes down to for me. And what about you?
I mean, you pretty much said it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I agree. That was a good answer.
It's kind of hard to top that one.
I know. I mean, when it's really
next
just
time,
comes
let
down.
the husband go first because ours are smaller answers.
Okay.
Then you can top us after.
Okay. We'll go with that one with the next one. So do we want to talk about COVID and kind of how that impacted you, or how stressful that was being a brand new business owner?
I mean, I think my hair got a little grayer.
Oh gosh.
I'll tell you that much. My hair definitely got grayer. That's for sure.
That's why you're hiding it under the hat?
Yeah, that's why I wear hats all the time. No, I've been gray since I was 18, but man, did I grow some extra grays. I'll tell you that much.
Honestly,
it was tough, but the old owners, they definitely took my stress away because I was freaking out just left and right. I'm shut down for 2 months. I can't bring any income in, and I owe for what I ordered for being open those 2 months. Yeah. They're coming in while we're closed down, and I have a UPS guy with my key because we're like, man, we can't even open. He's like, I'll deliver everything. And we come back and we got a full room full of boxes, and we have no income to pay for it because we're shut down. And then the loans, they were a little behind after the shutdown. You didn't get them during the shutdown. So that was probably the hardest part. But once you did get loans, and as long as you used them the right way, it helped a lot. And if you didn't use them the right way, it's going to hurt in the long run, but it definitely did help. Okay. But other than that, I stressed. Yeah. I'm not kidding. That gray hair came out like it was. I was 80 years old, and she just kept pushing.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like COVID, like everything, it really hit a lot of people, and because of our situation, we really, we had a lot of support on the behind the scenes with it, and so it was really tough. As soon as it got announced that we were non-essential, so we ultimately had to close, and not have business when it's actually our really downtime. We actually don't, we have peak seasons, and then we have, slow seasons, and we were in not the biggest part. We were in the biggest buying part of the season, buying for spring and summer, but we were also making, just enough to get by, and we just, so as soon as we had to shut down, we were already in a slow season, so it just impacted even greater. And when it happened, I honestly, I just had a feeling that, oh my gosh, we're probably gonna have to give up, I'm gonna start crying. It's not gonna work out, and I didn't want to do that and to fail for them, for my old bosses, because this is their legacy. This is something that they've built themselves, and they always, anytime that it kind of went down with another, because they did try selling it, to various times, but they always bought it back because they just truly believed in the store. And to hear that story and knowing that story, they wanted to keep it alive, and I just felt that it was really hard to do that for them. And they just stressed to us. They really helped us out, and so did, the PPPs. Eventually,
wasn't for them, we wouldn't be open.
Yeah,
we wouldn't even be here. We would have been done if it wasn't for them. Wow. They saved us a lot. Yeah, and not a lot of people had that, and that's what I was thinking back of how grateful and blessed I feel, because a lot of small mom and pop shops had to close, and I feel so sad because they couldn't get the help they needed through the programs, even though they said we are small businesses and we're supposed to be getting funds. A lot of the bigger stores, a lot of stores, big chains like Dairy Queen, places like that, were taking the funds from ours, and then they would tell us, small businesses all spent up, and it's like, well, I don't know one small business that got help in our town, so what's going on with this? And look into it, and bigger corporations were using it as this is my sole company of a bigger company, and they were taking these loans for the small businesses when they should have been taking the bigger loans for the bigger industries instead of what we were getting. And that's why I'm saying, without the old owners, we wouldn't be here, because they saved us during a time that no one was getting help. Yeah. Wow. Not one small business that I knew in this area, and I know almost all of them got zero help until the end, until we were finally back open. Yeah.
And so, and it's really sad to see that, because that was the big thing. I was getting emails, like email blasts about small business loans and grants or whatever, and things like that, and they didn't help until after everything and after people had to close. And so even though our situation is greatly different, and we really did have, support that ultimately nobody else would kind of get, and they wouldn't have that, I can't even, imagine how many, small businesses had to suffer because
they give up on their dreams because of something they can't even control. It wasn't even anything in their hands. It wasn't because of what they did. It was because of what happened.
Exactly. It was just a catastrophic event.
It was sad to see.
It really is.
We were in the same boat until they got a hold of us, and they're like, look, we're not letting this happen. This isn't your fault. Yeah. And they took over reins.
Because we were doing everything right, and that's what they kept trying to stress to us. It's like, it's nothing that you did wrong. And and so that was the thing we did. We certainly did get it was
2 months of us sitting at home and contemplating what we did wrong, and everything we did right was not good enough to cover what we did wrong. And then they kind of sat us down. They're like, look, this has nothing to do with you, and people closing down was not their fault at all. And people are like, well, you failed, and it's like, no, actually they didn't. They got shut down because of something that we can't have any control over.
Right. I mean, who would have predicted?
Exactly. Who would have known? Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, and although our state has been strict on the mandates and things like that, which is fine. I'm not knocking that, but it has made it rough for a lot of small businesses because everybody has different beliefs, and you can't really push your beliefs onto them. And although you can actually do what's right for you and right for your business, right for your customers, and you can respect everybody's wishes. And I think a lot of people put their opinions into their business and their business model, and it kind of affected everything, but also customers didn't understand that we're
following the rules.
We're following the rules.
We're not doing this because we want to force you to do something. We're doing it because we can't afford to not force you to do it.
And so that's one thing I'm sure.
Because people don't understand that small businesses, you get caught not wearing masks. Beginning of COVID, you can get a huge fine that could shut you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it wasn't affordable. And then people would come in here, oh, well, you just support this side. And it's like, no, actually, I don't want any other thing to do with that. This is my business. This is my livelihood. I'm doing what I have to do to survive.
Yeah.
It's not because I disagree with what you think or I agree with this person and not you. It's my livelihood. And people were getting mad about how we were asking them, hey, we would like you to wear a mask. It's simple. I get it. I know you don't want to wear it. None of us do. They suck.
Yeah.
It's hard to breathe through.
Yeah.
They're not the easiest thing, especially her. She has asthma and she still wears it every day of the week when she had to. And it's just, it's life. You got to roll with the punches. You can't think someone else is trying to control you when they have no control over the situation themselves.
Right.
And that's a big lash out I've seen on small businesses. They're attacking the people, and it's like, look, we do what we have to. We don't do what we want to. So I have no control over it. And thinking that we're forcing you to do something because we don't agree with your opinions is just way out there. And it was a big struggle for a lot of small businesses to deal with that.
Yeah. And we want to take the safety precautions. We want to make sure that our customers feel safe coming in here.
Well,
we
would try to keep up on the high touched areas, and we would make sure we want our customers to feel safe in here, because after being closed, we wanted to, we had to get it back going up. And so we just wanted to respect everybody's wishes, beliefs, and everything. And so we did what we did what we thought was best. We masked up, we stayed safe, we did all of that. But we had, it's really tough for small businesses when we have to pick our business over our customer, kind of thing, in a sense,
And some people took it that way too. They took it as, oh, well, I'll never come back here, you don't deserve my money. And it's like, well, it has nothing to do with me, I'm sorry. I mean, and you look at our customer base, we're more of an older crowd.
So we want to make sure to keep it safe.
My dad's older and he lives with me, and I don't want him getting sick, because it's harder for older people to fight off these sicknesses. And so that was not even a question. We're wearing masks. It's simple. My dad, I bring it home. I work around thousands of people, especially when I'm in the restaurant nonstop every day.
Yeah.
Whether it's just a cold to me or not, it's not to my dad, and it's not to people's grandparents and stuff like that. And people they need to understand that's why we did what we did.
Yeah.
It's not to hurt them. It's to help the other.
There's
to help
there's
everybody. Some people that need help. And bringing that stuff around them doesn't make their life easy. And when they're older, they stress on that kind of stuff. My dad's been stressing for months.
Yeah.
And now he's doing better because everything's starting to clean up. Everybody did their part.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So COVID was tough, and it just, we dealt with some new situations and obstacles, and we just feel blessed to be able to come out of it. And especially in a small little kind of coastal town, you would think cities are going to be the more popular, but we thought
we were going to die. We thought nothing was going to happen for the next few years.
We didn't know what to expect after.
Yeah.
But it just came around.
It certainly did.
I know, we're starting to get back to normal,
that
whatever
is.
That is. Okay. Well, that was great. I love that answer, and I'm so glad you guys made it through, because honestly, we learn in school that the first 3 years of a business is the most crucial. And
it's a nightmare.
You guys making through that, I mean, not many people probably could make it through that. So
and especially going through a pandemic too, as well. Our accountant and my old bosses had mentioned that. They're like, you have to look at that. You have to look that they did express that the first 3 years are going to be the hardest. Mm-hmm. They're going to be your blood, sweat, and tears.
On top of it, you just calm down because you're already making it through it. As you say, help.
Yeah. Oh gosh. How can the community support you more, or are they doing enough already, or what are your guys' needs as a business that maybe you could voice to any clients or customers? Or
just keep being them. I mean, honestly, we've had some of the best customer support we could ever ask for, especially in the last 2 years. I mean, what we thought was going to go down, it just shot right back up because they made sure that they didn't want us going anywhere. And so really, we can't ask of anything else of our customers. I mean, they gave us everything they had.
Yeah, I mean,
repeat people 3 times a week just because they knew we were hurting. They didn't technically know we were hurting, but they'd show up just to make sure the money's in our small business and not on Amazon or in a big industry that doesn't really need the help like we did.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing you can ask them for. I mean, they did what they could, and they've they succeeded in helping us. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. And to be honest, I mean, community is a big thing for small business. Because you if you want to put money back into your community, you kind of have to support the small guys. And because of the store and just, like I said again, how established, it's just we have that advantage over a lot of small businesses. And all I can, the only advice or things that I can ask is just to shop local, support local when you can. I know sometimes it's really hard. And we can't, compete with prices. We can't. Or
just getting that item in a rural area, but it's always nice if you check the small businesses first, because 9 times out of 10 we're not far off that big industry price. We're pretty. We try and keep them as close as possible.
But with inflation and price raising, it's increases and stuff. It is going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard to try to
pay more than you expect because you saw it a year ago for a lot less. But with everything raising, there's no option but to raise with it, or you just can't afford to stay open.
And we're not doing it to make more money. We're doing it because we kind of have to.
Exactly.
We got to cover our costs to be able to stay open, and if we don't, then that's just the way it ends.
But, and Brian's. To be honest, he's right. We can't ask anything from our customers because they have been so great to us. They have supported us in a time of need, and they continue to support us. And we have support, not only from our Bandon community, but the surrounding areas, and also all of our continued travelers that always come to the coast. During summer, spring break,
every summer, and they're like, I stop here before I go anywhere else. And
oh my God.
Then and it's ironic because I've worked at the bait shop for 12 years, and a lot of our customers are the same.
Yeah.
They start coming over here and they're like, what are you doing over here, man? I'm like, I'm a little out of my picture. I'm not in the normal spot. I'm not covered in flour and stuff like that. But it's this whole community, they take care of all of us. They're not just, we're only going to take care of the story life. They take care of all of us and make sure that they do their part for sure. And they go over and beyond in my opinion. But
and I think the only thing that we can just kind of ask is just just to shop small and and support everybody, not just us, not just just to be just to enjoy and enjoy your community, and just if you want it to grow and get just to keep the businesses thriving. To be honest,
definitely, because it's such a magical place. Like Bandon is.
It's different.
Yeah. Well, because even when I was a kid, I remember we would take family trips here just to come down and shop the little shops all along here. I mean, gosh, I've been in this store I think since I was 5. Coming here, and so it is a very special, magical place, and it warms my heart to know that the community, feels that way as well and continues to support, and hopefully will forever support these shops.
I don't see them going anywhere,
and that's all we can hope
we love
for,
them,
honestly.
They love us, and it's easy. They definitely made it easy on us after coming back from COVID. That's for sure.
Well, it really helps because of a lot of our employees, they've been veterans here for a really long time, so I know our customers appreciate seeing the same face every year. And that's and I know that our employees are they're very friendly, and so I think a lot of customers enjoy that too. Sometimes when you go into a place,
you can get a snotty person or someone that's down on their luck, and they take it out on you, and it's not.
Which I totally get.
It's
kind of hard.
It can be vice versa. The customer can do the same thing, but you just gotta let it be, because the next day they're gonna come in and realize, man, I didn't really need to be mean to that person. They were just trying to help me. And so it's a give and take kind of situation. We can all be the same, and we can all change, and we got a great base, I would say.
Yeah, we got a great foundation.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you guys for allowing me to take up your time today. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you would like to share, or anything else we'd like to talk on or touch on?
If anybody tells you can't do something, don't listen. Because I've been told my whole life I'm never going to make it, and life's changed.
Yeah.
You can't take that. You take that as motivation. When they tell you can't do something, you keep pushing. Because I was told my whole life I'm going to be anything but what I am. Be in prison, anything you can imagine, and I'm not. And it's because I didn't give up. And I had a support system. I had my wife. If it wasn't for her pushing me, I probably wouldn't be here. But it's don't let anybody tell you can't do something. That's the biggest thing I can tell anybody.
Well, and really, when someone says life's too short, they're really being honest, because it really is.
Go out there and take it.
Exactly.
You want something, take it. Not physically, but
Yeah.
go out there and do the work and get what you want, because it's worth it.
It certainly is. I mean, like if you dream big, dream for the skies. Like, that's the biggest thing is, you know, don't, even if you think and feel discouraged that you won't be able to reach it, you will. You know, if you just put in the motivation and you have that drive, you want to make better of your situation, it's going to take a lot of big steps and a lot of missteps, a lot of back steps. A lot of
sacrifices.
A lot of sacrifices, but guess what? You're going to get there eventually. And it's going to be so rewarding and so worth it at the end.
Yeah.
And so just to never give up and just honestly live your life passionately.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Cheyenne.
Yeah, of course. And so where can they find you guys and what are your hours?
Okay, so we are open every single day from 10 to 5 right now. We also have a website. It's WinterRiverBooks.com. We are located at the heart of Old Town on 2nd Street at 170. And yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again.
Thank you. Thank you.